Today, we are discussing the Election Commission of India's crackdown on inactive and non compliant political parties. The ECI has launched a drive to delist registered unrecognized political parties that fail to meet disclosure and compliance requirements. This move aims to improve electoral transparency, prevent misuse of privileges, and strengthen India's democratic process. Stay with us as we break down what registered unrecognized political parties are and why the Election Commission of India is acting now and what this reform means for elections in India. Hello, students. This is the second lecture in the series of Polity, which we have recently launched on our YouTube channel. Let's begin with the topic. Why we have taken this topic? Because the Election Commission of India is acting to delist dormant or non compliant registered unrecognized political parties. What are the key points associated with delisting of political parties? Election Commission of India has stepped in to delist 345 registered unrecognized political parties, and the criteria is those parties which have not contested elections in the last 6 years or whose offices are not traceable, they will be considered under it. These registered unrecognized political parties are often termed as letterpad parties because they exist only on paper with no real activity. There are many parties in India which has not updated office bearers list since 2015, thus their tag remains inactive, and they were generating tax exemptions under office bearers list since 2014. What is the process involved in it? Election Commission of India has issued showcase notices which is issued by chief electoral officers before final delisting. What can be the consequences for registered unrecognized political parties? They will have loss of common election symbol, that is, they will not get tax exemptions under Income Tax Act and Representation of People Act. What is the purpose behind this thing? Election Commission of India wants to clean electoral rolls and remove the defunct parties. What is the legal basis? And it becomes important from the UPSC perspective. What is the legal basis behind it? So it is important to know that the Representation of People Act 1951, the legal basis is the Representation of People Act 1951, and it is the responsibility of Election Commission of India for free and fair elections. Election Commission of India's goal is to generate transparency, that is, enforce disclosure rules, promote accountability in parties. So, thus, it becomes important to know what are registered parties. Registered parties are nothing but it can be an association of citizens. Political parties can be formed, but it has to be registered with Election Commission of India under Section 29A of the Representation of People Act 1951. What are the registration requirements for registered parties? First, they must submit constitution or memorandum within 30 days. They must declare their faith in the Constitution of India. Thirdly, they must commit to socialism, secularism, and democracy, and they must uphold sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. According to Election Commission of India, it will ensure internal democracy and requires regular office bearer elections. One thing you must know, any party recognized as state or national party in India will not be considered as a registered unrecognized political party. What is the criteria for state or national party? We're going to cover at the end of the video. So stay connected. What are the benefits enjoyed by registered unrecognized political parties? As we have already discussed, tax exemptions will be provided for donations under Section 13A Income Tax Act 1961. They will have common election symbol for Lok Sabha and state polls, and there can be 20 star campaigners allowed during the campaigns. You also must know what are the conditions for registered unrecognized political parties. First, they should maintain donor details above rupees 20,000 per year. Secondly, they should submit donor details to Election Commission of India annually as per Section 29C of the Representation of People Act 1951. Failure to do this will lead to loss of income tax exemption. And if they are accepting donations over rupees 2000, they must accept those donations via check or bank transfer. What is the main issue or hurdle for Election Commission? Representation of People Act 1951 Act lacks explicit power for Election Commission of India to deregister parties for not contesting elections, failing inner party polls or not filling returns. Thus, it becomes an roadblock for Election Commission of India to deregister parties. According to the Supreme Court ruling in 2002, Election Commission of India cannot deregister except in specific cases. First, when the party loses allegiance to the constitution. Second, when the party is declared unlawful by the government. And lastly, you must know what are the recommendations given by various commissions. In 2015, Law Commission allowed deregistration if party doesn't contest for 10 years. In the very next year, that is in 2016, Election Commission of India amended Representation of People Act, Election Commission of India to deregister parties. Third, inner party democracy. So we must amend Representation of People Act to mandate regular internal elections as suggested by Law Commission's 170th and 255th reports. These points you can highlight in your mains examination while writing your polity answers. So at last it becomes important to know what is the criteria for state party in India. First, if the party is getting 6 or more than 6% votes in state legislative assembly election, plus they are winning 2 seats in assembly, it will be considered as a state party. Second, if the party is getting 6 or more than 6% votes in Lok Sabha elections in that particular state, plus winning 1 Lok Sabha seat from that state can also be considered as a state party. Thirdly, if the party is winning 3% of the total seats in assembly or minimum 3 seats, whichever is more, can also be considered as a state party. Lastly, if party is getting 1 seat in Lok Sabha for every 25 seats allocated to the state, then it will be considered as an state party. It becomes very important to know from the UPSC prelims perspective what is the criteria for state party. And one thing you must know, if the state party is recognized in 4 or more states, then it automatically becomes the national party. Lastly, you must know what is the criteria to become a national party in India. Any of the following must be met. First, 6% of the votes in Lok Sabha or assembly elections in 4 or more states. Plus, that party must win 4 Lok Sabha seats. Second, 2% of Lok Sabha seats, that is 11 plus seats from at least 3 different states. What is the 2% criteria here? As we know, maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 552. Actual strength of Lok Sabha is 543. 2% here denotes 11 seats from at least 3 different states. Thirdly, it should be recognized as a state party in 4 or more states. And you must know what are the 6 national parties in India. First, Bharatiya Janata Party. Second, Indian National Congress. Third, Communist Party of India Marxist. Fourth, Bahujan Samaj Party. Fifth, National People's Party. And last, sixth is Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you for watching the video. Do share and subscribe the channel for such awesome and brainstorming content.